Hey there, welcome back to the table. So we left off after taking 3 turns here. A viewer pointed out something very important, and that was if you remember when France took their turn, they added 2 more cubes to Languedoc here, which was a diplomatic action with Provence. And take note that they already have an alliance with Provence, and the thing that the viewer commented on is that there was still more actions to take after you place these 2 cubes, and they were correct. So I was so excited to place the cubes, I ended their turn. So what you have to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on the bot action here, and we're going to jump down to the diplomatic action, and right here is where we added the 2 cubes. So the comment they were making is that look, there's still more decision tree stuff to do, and they are correct. So is an alliance possible? And the answer is no, because we already have an alliance. So we go down the no path, and then it says, can you enter in royal marriage? And so we need to roll a die and see what happens. And I know we have the die laying around here somewhere. Here it is. So I just rolled a 2. I know it's not a very exciting roll there, but after rolling a 2, it's going to add 2 cubes in areas where no cubes has been placed this turn. Or otherwise, if we would have rolled a 3 or a 6, they would have added a royal marriage. A royal marriage would have helped us, because they definitely could have used it. But it's the alternative. We're going to add 2 cubes here. So I'm just going to put 2 cubes on the board and then select them. And the 2 cubes are going to be added here in Anjou, because as you can see, Provence has 2 locations. So they also have this location, so we can put these 2 cubes here because we're influencing this. But here's the crazy thing. Those 2 cubes can be used to influence England. Although England's not an NPR, so technically these cubes aren't as helpful, but you can use them for any diplomatic action, not just because they were placed here because of Provence. For example, these 4 cubes here could be used for Avignon, which is actually a part of the papal state, Rome. So Rome actually has a little city here. Okay, so that wraps up them. I know somebody else, so just addressing any other comments that were made, that the grand campaign was ambitious. Yes, it is. There's no other way to do it, as far as I'm concerned. Some of those scenarios where you're going to play for one age or whatever, you're not experiencing the full game. Yeah, you're going to experience the rules. I get that. I don't know. You go big or don't waste your time. That's my attitude. No, am I going to really fail and screw up a bunch of rules? I might, and then people could say I told you so. That's fine. But anyways, that's part of my channel. Is I'm doing what the other channel people aren't doing. The people who are making tons of money off of your views and subscribes, they are playing conservative. They're getting rid of the DNPRs. They're doing the small map. They're not playing with the extended 6-player. They're not doing the grand campaign. It's that simple. And that's what, so the whole point of this is to do more. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do more. Now, my only problem is I'm also doing a Frosthaven playthrough campaign at the same time. And I only have so much time in my life to do so many things. So we'll see how this goes. The one thing I will tell you is that Europa Universalis has always been, at least in a video game format, an all-time favorite game of mine. And this board game is turning into an all-time favorite for me, although I can't think of any of my friends wanting to play this. It's too much for them. But for me, who's played the video game, this game is awesome. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this with you. And of course, I'm playing it with my son, and he will not play games with me all the time. But it's why this is fresh on my mind, and I want to do this. So let's keep going. We just finished Spain, so we're going to roll right around to England. So same deal. They go through the same decision tree. And let's just remind ourselves. Do they have no cubes left? Nope. Are they under attack? Nope. Is there an army on the map and they can siege an area? Nope. They don't have colonists, etc., etc. This will eventually start to trigger things, but for now, they're going to draw a bot card. So here we go. Draw and flip. And they are doing an event. Now, this is actually really good because they actually have an event that is specifically made for them. And I'm pretty darn sure that that's the one they're going to pick, but let's go check. So here's the event action. Have they already taken an event? No. And actually, they're going to roll a die. That's the interesting part. So they could theoretically pick an event that doesn't apply to them. But I think these two and this one. So they have a 50% chance of picking their own event. Let's go ahead and do that. Where's the dice? So I'm going to go ahead and roll. We rolled a 4, which is the opponent event revealed. There is an opponent event revealed. There's also their own event, which is interesting. So if their own event was revealed, they would pick that event. But here, they're worried about the opponent event, and so yes, it is revealed. So they're going to pick that one. Interesting. And then they're going to gain a dot power. I'm sorry. They're going to gain a bot power if money is on the event. Oh, I forgot to mention that. That's what that means, that money thing. I misrepresented that in the past, and my apologies. But basically, let me take these ducats here, and they're in groups of 2. And here's what that means. So the event cards are sitting over here. So these 2 events were at the start. And if you recall, somebody's picked the event that was here. The events that weren't picked get coins on them. So now when you pick these event cards, you're going to get to collect those coins. The bots don't collect coins. They don't use money. So what it's saying is if there's coins that are on the event card, they're going to gain a bot power. And so that's what that bot power comment means. So this is the part that's crazy. So England has an event called War of the Roses. It even has coins on it. And if I were a player, I would have taken this one in a heartbeat. But because we rolled 4, they're actually going to take the 100 Years' War. There are no coins on it, so that they're not going to get any extra bot power. But they are selecting this event, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. And just because I'm here, we're going to go ahead and get this next one revealed, which is this is a Polish one, the successor of Władysław. And this is actually a really good one for Poland, but we'll worry about that later. That has to do with getting a political or personal union with Lithuania. Okay, so let's bring this around to England, just so we could read it while we're over here. Okay, so and we also want to make sure we follow this. So we're going to choose the opponent's event, and then we're going to resolve option. Option B is always worse, the worst outcome for the opponent. So we're going to resolve option B, and then any secondary events. And if they have 10 or more cubes and less than 8 large towns, they're going to spend 2 to develop a small into a large, which is so very interesting that they can do that, and end turn. So it's almost like they're bundling 2 things into one here. But this one's going to be close. They won't have the 10 or more power cubes. That's going to be the issue. But let's resolve the event, and then the secondary. There are no secondary, by the way, because on the bottom here, since this event belongs to somebody else, it's a leader. And so France, by the way, if France was a player, they would have had the option to take this leader. If France would have taken this event themselves, they must take the leader Since England took this and not France, then France has the option to take the leader. Other than the military power, this is a pretty decent leader. Okay, so this is the end of the 100 Years' War, and they're choosing option B, which this does make sense for England to choose this one, because otherwise you could theoretically go to war again. So, surrender of Maine. England, if at peace, may cede Maine to France. And so then the question becomes, are they going to do that? That's an interesting question because that is so specific. So using choice processes on page 3. So page 3, are you at war? No. And then it's just doing realm selection, province. When applying effects that are beneficial, I mean, we could roll a die, I guess. So, like, is England willing to give up the province or not? It's a question. Like, if you were to ask me personally, I would give up the province, because if you do, you gain a stability, you enter a truce, and you lose a claim in each other's realm. But if not, then they both gain a military power, lose a stability, and any truce between them ends, and they gain a diplomatic point. So actually, I think from an AI bot perspective, it works out either way. So which one are they doing? Great question. I'm going to see if there's something in the rules specific to what England would do, or otherwise we're just going to roll a die and it's going to be a 50-50. Because this is an either or, and which one is the AI going to choose? We know for a fact they're going to choose option B, but then within option B, where do they go from there? So let me pause and I'll do some quick research. Okay, I found the answer. It's actually here in the general event rules, and it says that right here, you're always going to pick the first option on all sub options. So there you go. That's as clear as I was going to say as clear as mud, but that's a joke. That's as clear as the day right there. So they're always going to choose the first option. So let's flip back around, and what is that first option? All right. So they're going to cede Maine to France, and so let's resolve that first. So Maine is right here. So we're going to take the town off of Maine, and that goes back onto the player board. And then France gets to put their town out. Right? So they take Maine. So that's step 1. Step 2. France and England gain 1 stability. Stability is not represented by the bots, so they really don't. Well, hold on. You come back to here, and it says that if they are gaining stability, they remove 1 unrest per step. They gain 2 bots per step if the bot has no unrest. So bot power is what I meant. So they're going to get to add 2 more power, and it's both of them because they both gain stability. So both of them are going to gain 2 bot power. All right. And that's because they have no unrest. Next, lose a claim in the other's realm. So now this is interesting. Which claim do they lose? So we're going to come back over to here, and I think it is listed in here. So if they're gaining or losing an alliance, it's based on highest and lowest tax. I know that's not the same as a claim, but that is a clue for us. That's how they prioritize their things. And so when you see this, and it's not listed here specifically, then we're going to go to choice processes. And remember, the choice processes on page 3 states alphabetical order, and then if it's going to hurt you, then you choose the area with the lowest tax. It's the same situation we had with the Ottomans. So we're going to pick the area with the lowest tax and then lose those claims. Now, England may only have 1 claim out here. So, for example, they don't have a claim on Scotland, although they do have influence. In fact, Cleveland or England does not have a claim anywhere. Now that I look at it, so they don't lose one, but France does. So France has a claim right here on Brittany and Normandy, and I think that's the only claim they have. So yeah, France is going to lose that claim. And that's fair. They just got a town, so that's going to make them not have an ability to declare war, at least not as easily, on England. Oh, I take it back. Look, there's another claim here. So let's figure this out. There's a claim here as well. So which one do they get rid of? This one has a tax value of 1. This one has a tax value of 1, 2, 3. And so the claim, we did remove the correct one. They still have a claim down here, but not up here. Okay, fair enough. Keep going. And then this is an if not, so this is resolved. There's no secondary effects. The French leader would have the option to take Louis the 11th. The issue here is the French leader is a bot, so we don't have to worry about it. So this is now discarded. I'm going to drop this card, zoom out a little bit, and then we're going to get rid of this card. So what have I been doing? I've been putting them here, I think. So I don't know why. There we go. So those are a discard. We already drew the next card, but what we have to do now, and this is the part where it gets juicy, is there are now 4 coins on those events. So for example, when it's our turn, we could choose to take War of the Roses, and we're going to make 4 coins for choosing that event, and it doesn't even help us any. But and what's even more interesting is this is almost as lucrative as taking a trade action. And no matter what, we have to play an event anyways. What we don't know is there is one in here for Castile. It's called the Iberian Wedding, and it should be in the first 7 cards. So it's buried in here somewhere. It just hasn't come out. And we have 2 of them, by the way. And how do I know this? There's 2 ways. The first way is we have this Spain player aid thing that comes with this game, right? So in the Spain player aid, it has, if we scroll down, these are the age events. So we have Iberian Wedding for the first half of age 1, and then for the second half of age 1, Christopher Columbus is buried in there. So we actually have 2 events that are in there for us. But so does England. So I took out the England one, by the way, when I was trying to do our research. And so they got the same deal. So if I scroll up to the top here, this is the one for England. And so there's a copy of this for every nation in the game. So you can see that England has War of the Roses and the Lollard Heresy. And it's funny because England was such a dysfunctional country back then. These are their events, and they both stink. But they do get better as they go. And then, of course, as you know, England became quite powerful. So how am I getting those? Well, you just go in here. So, for example, if we want to see, like we saw the Polish one. But let's say we want to see, okay, what ones do the Ottomans have? First of all, I got to find the Ottomans, drag it out, drop it. Then I'm going to right-click on this, hit search. And then the Ottomans have their own little player aid here. So I'm dragging and dropping that. I don't know why it's being so dramatic on me. And yeah, things are really getting messed up here. There we go. Come on. Move out of the way. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the camera. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Alright, so the Ottomans have their own thing. And if I scroll down, here it is. So they have the Veneto-Turkish conflict and the rise of Safavid Persia. So these are the, and then since we're doing a grand campaign, all 8 of these are going to be in the game. All right, so I'm hoping that makes sense. We're done with England's turn. So now we move on to Austria. Same deal with Austria. They're not at war with anybody. They don't have anything in particular going on. Let's make sure, though, they're not under attack. They can't siege. Yeah, we're good. Oh, we gotta finish England. I almost made the same mistake as before. England did the event action, and now the question is do they have 10 power cubes? They did not when we first mentioned it, but now they do. So they have more than 10, and they have less than 8 large towns. So they're going to spend 2 to develop a small town into a large town. Alright, so if they ever need to do that, where would they do it? Is the next question. And then you would have to use the choice processes again. And I don't think... So obviously they're going to pick an area that's core. This is getting nebulous. But so this is where they're applying effects that are beneficial to the bot. Remember, it says alphabetical. But if it's beneficial, then they're going to prioritize the provinces that have the highest possible tax value. So, first of all, let's verify 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So they're going to spend 2 cubes. Oops. They're going to spend 2 cubes. And one of these small towns gets to become a large town. Which one? This is a power of 2, tax. This is 3, 3, 1, 4. So it's going to be here. And then it's just in alphabetical order. So E becomes for O. So this is going to go back. And then a large town comes out. And so Essex just became a larger town. And there you go. So that was the end of the event action for them. They were able to... That's in a video game, that's called development. And so they were able to develop their town. Interesting how everything's being bundled together, but... Now, what's going through my mind is, do I get to do that? Do I get to develop small towns into large towns and I just somehow missed it? Let's go check. So we have... The answer is no, I don't get to do that, but I guarantee you that one of these action cards lets you do it. So there's probably an action card you can play that will let you do that. But as far as like straight up actions that are on the board here, no. There isn't one that lets me develop my towns into bigger towns. Interesting. It also could be an idea. There might be an idea here that lets you develop your small towns into bigger towns. It just might not be one that's out at the time. So lots of ways that we get to manipulate the game, and the bots sort of, shortcut by you and just do it instead. Okay, we are moving on to Austria. Same deal. We're going to draw a bot card. We're going to flip it. You know what? I'm getting event because I'm not shuffling my cards. That's why this is happening. We got to shuffle them. These cards where I keep drawing event as the first card, it's because I'm not shuffling. My goodness, I apologize to you guys so much. I'm just shuffling all the bot card decks now. Yeah, there's no way we drew event this many times. Okay, now let's draw a card. And flip. Here we go. So we got just like France did. It's a diplomacy. It's actually the exact same number that France drew. So there must only be 2 cards in the deck. There's event and diplomacy. Okay, so we're going to do a similar thing that France did. And we're going to go down that diplomacy track. But it might take us a completely different direction, because Austria is a different animal. Diplomacy, by the way, is something Austria does a lot in the video game. So do they have an alliance and a marriage on any NPR adjacent to the bot? Great question. Let's look. They have a marriage with Hungary, but I don't think they have an alliance. So the answer is no there. And they are the HRE, so 1 second. 4 plus 1 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They actually get 1, 2, 3 more because they're the HRE. How did I know that? They're at level 3 here, and they're gaining extra powers. So here they get an extra power token, and they also get gain a bonus equal to the Imperial Authority to tax income and manpower right here. So being the Emperor, being the king is good. Alright, I don't see any alliance tokens out here. Now, I kept the starter card, because if we ever think I did something wrong, we can always look here. And here you can see they have a royal marriage with Hungary, but they don't have an alliance in play. Alright, so we adequately satisfied that. And the answer is no. Do they have an alliance? No. Do they have 2 or more cubes on any NPR? I bet they do. Let's move back. And they got 2 or more cubes on this one, which is Bavaria. So they got 2 there. They also have 2 over here on Royal Hungary. So there's 2 bots that are 2 NPRs that satisfy that condition. So that answer is going to be yes. Select such NPR with highest tax income. Prefer the NPR married to bot. Well, we're married to the Hungary one, so we're going to select that one. Now, you could argue, well, if the one that you're married to is not the highest tax income, you still select the highest tax income first because that's a priority thing. I think that's a matter of interpretation, but let's just double check. I actually have no income here or there. So I guess technically you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible income. Actually 6. This one would be possibly 3. Like if you look at every single province. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this Royal Hungary one. Is an alliance possible? And so it's got this little sub 1. Alliance requires bot is at peace and has less than 3 alliance in play. Target is at peace and is not the bot's ally. And any ally of the target has fewer cubes than bot in target's area. Okay. First of all, the target does not have any allies. Secondly, Poland does have a cube in the area, but they have less than us. So they are allowed. And then, of course, Austria has less than 3. So the answer is yes. We can do an alliance with them. So we're going to place an alliance in the target's capital and add 1 cube there if there is space. And we're going to do that right now. So we're going to grab a cube and we're going to put it on the capital, which is the Hungarian plain. I think that's their capital. Usually it's Budapest. Yeah, I think it is. And yes, let's give them an alliance. And this is totally something that Austria would do. Have an alliance with Hungary. Yes, that's absolutely something they would do. Now, I wanted to drop... Here, fine. We'll drop it there. Like so. Okay. We aren't done, though. Because I keep doing this and then leaving. So we place this on the capitals. Oh, we have to add a cube. I'm not going to forget that. And then we follow this path. Oh, yeah, we are done. Okay. And then let's add the cube. Let's not forget the cube. And that goes onto the capital. So now they got 2 cubes. Alright, I need to look something up in the rules that just popped into my head. It's not related to the action we just did. I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to, just in case you were curious, I wanted to know what the little gold meant. I know what it means in the video game, and it's very similar. It's potential inflation. It interacts with the trade cards, and some event cards use these gold symbols. So I was curious because this was going to cover that up. And that's what made me get concerned, and that's why I moved it over here. Okay, their turn's over, and last but not least is Poland. We already shuffled it, so let's draw and flip. Oh my gosh, everybody's drawing the exact same card. Alright, we're going to do diplomacy again, this time with Poland. Let's start at the top. I'm not confident enough to remember everything. Do they have an alliance and a marriage with any bot? And then do they have an alliance with a bot? And then do they have 2 cubes? We're going to do all 3 of those checks. So with Lithuania, they actually do have a lot going on. They have a marriage with Lithuania, but it looks like they don't necessarily have an alliance with Lithuania. This is a vassal, but remember the bots take control of vassals, so the bots don't deal with vassals in this game. So I think for the most part, we don't have an alliance, but we have 2 cubes here in Lithuania, so we do match that criteria, and there's a very high likelihood we're going to get an alliance with Lithuania over here, based on what we just went through. And that is also thematic and exactly what the video game would have done. So we have 2 cubes on an NPR adjacent. Select it. Is an alliance possible? Yes. Place an alliance on the capital. Add 1 cube there if there's space. And then we're done. So that's the quickest AI turn we've had yet. But if it's something that you're familiar with... 3 of these are moving over to the spent. And we got to do that for Austria too. They're spending 3 cubes to do that action. Okay, we're going to take 2 cubes, or 1 cube, and put it on Lithuania. And we're going to take an alliance and also put it on Lithuania. So now we got a marriage and alliance with them. So that's a step towards diplomatic merger, which is just as good as conquering in this game and in the video game. Alright, we have officially ended 1 full turn, and let's keep going. So we're going to come around, and it's the Ottomans' turn again. And like I said, I'm really convinced I didn't shuffle this deck, so that's why I was drawing a event with all of them. But let's keep going. There's no harm that I drew an event. That's one of the cards in here. It just, yeah, you're supposed to shuffle them. So let's flip this one. Alright, so now I got diplomacy. Now you might be thinking, okay, now this is getting crazy. It is number 6. It's not number 5. So it is a different card. And you can search the deck. Like, here's what their deck is, and you can clearly see it's shuffled. 4, then 19, then 7, then 20. Like, it is shuffled. It's just... and there's just more than one diplomacy war card in the deck. It is crazy that that's what we keep drawing, but yeah, that's it. So diplomacy is going to take 3 cubes, and I'm going to assume that they're going to successfully do something with their diplomacy. So I'm moving those over in anticipation that we're good. All right. So again, at the top, we're going to check for an alliance and marriage, then an alliance, then 2 cubes. And this is for the Ottomans. I don't see an alliance. I don't see a marriage. I do see 2 cubes. So again, and so then it's going to ask, is an alliance possible? Going to be the next question. The answer is yes. So we're going to place an alliance and get a cube. On their capital, which is going to be here. Now this is the part that gets weird, because there's actually 2 different factions here in this area. There's the Konya Karaman and then the Adana. So which one do I have the alliance with is the question. And that's the part that gets tricky. I'm going to assume Actually, let me look that up. Because what's even more interesting is these are Jewish, which, but it does say that the whole area is Muslim. Um, so if I have an alliance here, am I allied with this whole realm? I mean, this geographic area is considered a realm. It has two different sets of NPRs in it, though. Um, but I think from an NPR perspective, they fight together as one, even though they're separate. I know that's crazy, but it's just how it works. If they wanted Adana to be its own realm, they would have drawn a line through it. And so, and over here where you have Bitlis and Mosul, you know, but the difference is if you control all of Iraq, which has a capital down here. I'm sorry, no, the capital here is in Tabriz. So if you have, Persia here, um, they would start owning a portion of the realm, but not. They don't control all the realm, so they have to siege all three of these to be able to take over the rest of this realm. And so it doesn't even matter that this says Bitlis and this one says Bush, for as far as gameplay purposes go. So it's a little confusing, but yeah, we got an alliance with this realm, the people in this area. Okay, and then we added another cube in that area because that is where their capital is as well. Now, I think it might have been we add a cube if they're. Let me just make sure. If there's space, and there was space. Okay, Ottomans are done. Moving on. Now we go to. Look at this. See, whenever I loaded the game, they have me playing as France. I gotta change the color. I am the game master. I am not France. So now I can see my own cards again. Yeah, that was a little wonky there. Alright, gonna draw this card. Flip. And it's Unrest. Or Spy. So the Unrest action is interesting. That's actually removing Unrest. Usually. Right here. So do they own any provinces with Unrest? No. Do they have less than 2 cores in play? And can you place a core? Now, these cores are confusing. But basically, the cores are... so let's say you're France, and you went to war against Aragon. So you took and sieged all 4 of these, and through a peace agreement, you took control of this realm. Well, just because you control the realm, these people here are going to rebel against you. Because they didn't ask you to come in and conquer them. Right? Captain Obvious statement there, right? So the only way for them to be a part of your empire is you have to do with the concept of calling core. You have to core them. And so coring them is a diplomatic action or administrative action where you're basically integrating them into your empire. And then at some point, they will actually consider themselves to be a part of your empire. And in video game terms, that would take, anywhere from 10 to, 20 years. So it's a long time if you think about it. And yeah, if you've been occupied by a country who invaded you, yeah, maybe you hate them at first and there's rebellion, but after 10 years, maybe the rebellion side, goes away and then you finally, accept your fate and you become a part of them, unless you're a part of Black Lives Matter or the IRA Republicans in Ireland. In those cases, they're just going to fight forever. But most people don't. And so what this represents is the people that don't. And until you've cored them, they do have rebellions, and they do rise up and resist. And they could, if you don't quell the rebellion, they could revert back to their original owners or be liberated. So the question is, do you have any cores? And the answer is no. Because let me show you the symbol here. See this core token? That means that you have an area that you cored and made them a part of your empire. these areas here are already a part of your empire. They have natural cores. If they took Aragon, they would put a core token there after they cored it. So the question was, do they have the ability to place a core? Right now, no. Like, if let's say they went to war and they actually took this over, then yes, they would have the ability to core it, and this would be a natural action that would let them go in and start coring. So that was a long-winded way of saying there's nothing for them to do. So, and here I'll show you, because if they have less than 2 and can place one, then you can see it goes over. They're going to place one in an eligible area, and they're going to try to core the area. So the answer is no. Do they own all provinces in an eligible area with higher total tax value than any current core? The answer is no, and then it says do the next action, because there's nothing to do here. There's no unrest to deal with. That makes total sense. So the other one, I think, if I remember correctly, was spy. Yep. Now, spy is an interesting one. I did not read up on this one, so I'm going to be experiencing this one for the first time alongside you. So, are they at war with any opponent? No. Are they at war with an NPR? No. Select an opponent. And I'm going to say spy is considered a military action. I guess you could say it's a diplomatic one, but I'm going to say military. So they're going to do a covert action that's going to add 2 unrest to an opponent's town. That's what they want to do, and they have to select their opponent. So this is pretty simple if you remember that we have these targeting trees. So we just have to find France right here. And I'm going to assume that spying is a military action because you're trying to hurt them. Diplomatic is who you're wooing and trying to be friends with. So if I'm trying to be friends with Scotland, I'm not going to try to cause an uprising in Scotland. So we're going to roll a die and then compare it to here to see where are we going. And I may have to roll several times, as you can see, because like I have to roll a die, and then is the realm in Brittany and Normandy. I may have to roll a die again, and go out even further. So let's find the die. Here you are. Let's roll. So I rolled a 2. So we go this way. So they want me to look at a realm in Aquitaine. And so let's look at Aquitaine. Aquitaine has England here. So that's a perfect one to have rebellion in. So they are asking us to add 2 rebellion tokens to opponents' towns. In this case, we can't add 2 because they only have 1. But we can sure make it glorious. And then it's as simple as just flipping the token, and boom. So England has a rebellion going on in Aquitaine, and that was perfect. Now, you could say, well, hold on, there's 2 more over here, but that's technically not what we decided, because we're selecting opponent, add 2. Oh, you know what? We're just adding 2 to any of their towns. So yeah, we could do the other ones. Thank you for asking. Aquitaine is our target by our dice roll. And so our enemy in here is England. So we're going to put some unrest there. And then we're going to pick another one and give unrest to them. And now you could argue, okay, well, where else in England are we doing it? Because like we could do it all the way out here, I guess. But I'm pretty convinced that we're going to try to get as close to Aquitaine as possible. So the next province over is what we're going to do. So it's just going to be Normandy or Calais. Anyways, this one is higher in alphabetical order, because remember the alphabetical order matters. And so we're going to flip that one, and so they're under unrest. So there we go. We created 2 unrest in areas that have interest to us. So that was actually a pretty cool action for them to do. That was their spy action. And I'm pretty sure the spy action is over. Just checking. Yes, end turn. Okay, so their turn's over. And I gotta always remember that costs 2 cubes. If I'm not spending their cubes, then their turns are going to go on forever. This one costs them 3. Oh, I did spend a 3 on that one because they did the event on the last card. Um, yep, I'm spending the cubes. Okay, now it's back to us. What do we want to do? So, to properly teach the game would be to go through all the actions. Boy, that's a lot. That's where the RTFM video is highly recommended. So you could always appoint an advisor or leader. As you know, I appointed all my advisors and leaders immediately. But you could do that later as an action. And these are minor actions. They don't take a turn. So these are like, you can think of these as free actions. I can do a call to arms, which is if I'm in a war, I'm asking somebody to join me. I can replenish manpower, which... Yeah, I'd have to look that up. How's that different than recruit? Oh, I'm sorry. Replenish manpower, it means I'm going to be putting manpower onto the available pool. That's what it is. And cut ties means, like, I'm sorry, Scotland, I don't care about you anymore. I'm going to pull back all my cubes and take all my toys and go home. We do have the ability to explore. And one thing I just realized is we were supposed to get an extra cube, and I was talking about that before I ended the last video, and I never actually gave us an extra cube. So I had implied that the extra cube should be military, because if I want to take Andalusia, I can do that. But I can also make that extra cube be diplomatic, because if I want to do a trade power action, that's going to cost 1 cube, but if I want to explore, that's going to cost another cube. I'm leaning towards I'm okay with my money. Maybe we don't want to do a trade action. I want to go to the New World. So, I'm going to stick to my guns with the original decision, and I'm adding another cube to the military. Now, if you're confused, at the end of the last video, I was supposed to get an extra cube of my choice because of here. And we talked about it, and I basically explained that, through the military actions, I'm going to declare war, I have to do a recruit, like I needed more cubes to be able to take over Andalusia. And so the determination was I was going to add another cube to here. But the other part that has come to my mind since I've got a full night's rest is to discover the Caribbean. That's one of my objectives. I score a victory point for this. And I even get colonists for doing this. Now, to colonize requires administrative actions. And here you can see it takes 4 cubes or colonists and requires connection. So if I actually get colonists here, 3 of them, that's awesome. Because now I can spend less administrative points to do the action. So I'm thinking I can actually get a colony and everything going this round. But this is also an objective of mine. And so both of them are important to me. So which one do I want to do first? I don't know. So let's make it clear. To do an explore action requires a diplomacy and a military. So I would be spending 1 and 1 to do the explorer. So I'm hurting my ability to take Andalusia if I do. I'm basically diverting my military to exploring. And I could go here to the Caribbean and start staking some claims out there. Now, one of the reasons to do it is to beat everybody else to the punch. Nobody else even has Quest for the New World, so it's pretty thematic. We're the first ones. And so from my perspective, I don't have to rush this. Because as long as nobody else has that idea, we can take our time and go there a little bit later. I would like to do it, though. And I'm going to pause the video. I want to look up a few rules on how this would work, and then I'm going to make up my decision. Okay, so I was able to look at some rules because I'm trying to determine, can I take Andalusia or not? And it takes quite a bit here. So, for example, I need to own all provinces in Andalusia. So what that means for me is I have to spend one military power to declare war. I'm sorry, back up. I have to spend one military power to recruit units because I only have two infantry. And if I go to war with them, Grenada will produce one infantry, and so will Gibraltar. So it'll be my two infantry against their two infantry, and the chances of me winning that are they're not quite 50%. They're slightly better because I have a military leader who will let me roll a cannon die here, an artillery die. But I'm very likely going to lose a unit because the way war works and combat works is no matter what, each side gets to roll 3 dice. And you can see that here if you flip this to the other side. Land battles, everybody rolls 3 infantry dice, both sides. And then you roll extra dice based on your leader's military skill, and then dice from your military cards. So here he would roll an extra artillery die. If you roll an infantry, you score with a hit. And if you get this double infantry thing, it just counts as a regular hit, but it counts as 2 hits if you have certain technologies, which none of us have yet. Then the cavalry and the artillery, of course, get hits as well. So just to give you a flavor, here's the dice over here. So this is an infantry die, and the enemy gets to roll 3 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3 chances of them missing. So it's 50% chance of missing, 50% chance of hitting. And they roll 3 of them, each with a 50% chance. So the chances of them killing both my units, they have a chance, yes, but, there's a better chance that they're going to kill one of my units. And so, why is all this important? The key thing is, if I go to war without recruiting, I'm going to not have enough units to lay siege on these cities. Because that's the next thing that I need to do. I need to lay siege. Laying siege is one of the sub-actions of activate units. So, to lay siege on 2 small towns, I need 1 siege strength for each town. Well, how do I know what siege strength is? I don't know if they have it listed here on the player aid, but in the rules, the infantry units count as 1 siege strength. And I can verify that for you over here. So if I scroll up to the units, infantry siege strength is 1, cavalry is half, artillery is 2. So 1 artillery is enough to lay siege to both of those towns. I don't think that quite works that way because I think you have to assign, your units to one of the towns at a time. But if I want to lay siege to both of these towns, I need 2 infantry units. And if I'm going to spend more than 1 unit to lay siege, I have to spend extra military cubes. So you can start to see I'm burning through my cubes. So I need 1 to recruit. I need 1 to declare war. And then it will also let me march my troops into the area. So I'll get to do 2 actions with it, but still. And then I need 1 to lay siege, which I will be able to do, but I need another one to be able to take both of these. Now, that is a little wonky, like the siege rules. And I think it's over here. It should be. It's not. Okay. So we have to go to the rules. So if I scroll down a little bit, here's land battles, and then there's sieges. So you have to do 1 cost to pick an area with 1 or more enemy-controlled provinces, but no enemy units. So I have to kill all the units first. And then I need to have 1 or more land units, which I should have. Calculate the total siege strength, and use the siege and pay additional military cubes for each unit taking part beyond the first. So if I have 2 towns I'm sieging, I need 2 infantry to do the siege. So therefore, I need to spend an extra cube because the first infantry is free, but the next infantry I have to pay a cube for. So it's going to cost me 2 cubes to lay siege. And that's where my mind is going. So as of right now, with the cubes I currently have in front of me, I do not have the ability. I have the ability to declare war. I have the ability to beat them in a battle. I don't have the ability to completely take control and lay siege. Now, that's not to say I shouldn't at least do the first 2 parts, but I'm not going to be able to fully complete it, which is what this quest is. Now, do I need to complete this quest all in the first age? No, not at all. But when I'm planning, like, how am I going to do my turns, this is an important thing. Now, I do have this card here, which costs me a military cube. And if I were to play it, it would allow me to increase my manpower. Okay. It would allow me to gain 4 battle dice. Okay. But see, it causes me to lose stability, which I'm not as big a fan of. And I get, as for a military innovation, I can research any military idea to play. That part's the cool one, right there. Is it worth losing a stability for? I don't know. But see how it uses 2 uses? I would play this military reform just so I could research a military idea and another military idea for just 4 cubes. But we're going to just hold on to this card. I am not going to spend this card right now. So, after all that deliberation and debate, what am I trying to say? I am going to discover the Caribbean. We're going to do some exploring. So I'm going to do the explore action, which takes a diplomatic cube and a military power cube. And I know I'm putting all the cubes down here, but I could just as easily put them back in the box. So that's what we're going to do. It takes 1 of each, and just a reminder, I know it takes 1 of each because right here. This is the explore action. Alright? Now, the explore action has some rules to it. So one of the things I recommend you do is just come over here, click on the search, and then just type in explore. And then you can see explore is on page 12. And then I can just hit the down arrow and it goes to the next place where explore is. Now, of course, explore is going to be in a lot of locations. But here we go. This is the basic action explore. So it requires quest for the New World, which we have. So you may move 1 light ship using rules for naval movement into a sea zone in one of the distant continents. Roll the exploration die, then either use the result or pay 1 diplomacy to re-roll. Now, this is my risk. I don't have any more diplomacies to pay. So if I get a result with no skulls, I discover the territory, and I get to place a claim on it, a town. If I get a result with a skull, I have to pay a diplomacy to discover a territory to match that number, or fail exploration and remove 1 of my ships on a distant continent. That's my risk. I really should have another diplomacy cube, and I don't. Any discovery made must be adjacent to your realm, or if you have quested a new world, 1 of your ships, place a claim on the discovered area. Place on adjacent territories that are called colonial claims. So, and I may re-roll a maximum of 2 times. You must use the result of the last roll you make. So I do get to re-roll. So that's my only hope here. And that re-roll does not cost me... Well, hold on. It does cost me a cube to re-roll. Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm reading this. I want to make sure I have it all correct. When the first area on a distant continent is discovered, a claim has been placed, and all unused trade cards matching the number for this continent get shuffled into the deck. So that's something we're going to have to do later. But first of all, we got to get our claim. I'm taking a risk here. This might backfire. If I roll a skull, I'm going to fail my exploration. I'm even going to lose a ship, which is not cool. Yeah, I maybe... So instead of grabbing that military cube, I should have put it here. And I'm referring to my free cube I got from this. So by doing this, I'm making this a safer action for me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Since I made the decision not to do the Reconquista just yet, I'm going to add my extra cube over here. All right, so here we go. We move our ship, normal naval movement. We are at C, so I'm going to move it over to C here. And since I'm Spanish, I'm saying yes every time I do that. So we're going to try to explore the Caribbean, and anywhere where you see a port that is in our region where the ship is in is available. And that includes conquering enemies. Alright, so we got to now take our die. It's one of these blue dice. I'm going to pull this out, and then we're going to roll it. And here you can see I rolled a 1, which I think is good. Let's go back over and take a look. Yeah, right there. Antilles is the only number 1 here, but that's a perfect one. And we're going to go ahead and take a claim, which, yeah, I'm going to do one of these. Actually, I think I'm going to do one of these and put it right there on number 1. Right? So we have a claim on number 1, but we don't have a town yet. So the what's the best way to describe it? Now I have to do the colonize action to be able to finish this. And so here, do I have a claim on a territory adjacent to the Caribbean Sea? Yes, I do. So I just scored a victory point. I succeeded at this. So we move up to 4 now. And then effect, we gain 3 colonies or a claim on the Antilles. We already have a claim on the Antilles, so I don't need that. So this is a succeeded mission. I'm going to put that there. And you can see it's saying grab 2C. So now I come in here and I do a search. And I'm going to get this one, which is 2C. So the Spanish Main is now our new mission. Alright, so that's complete. And I'm going to take 1, 2, 3 colonists, and I get to put them on the colonist pool. There. So I have 3 colonists right now. And what that means is later on, here, when I do the colonize, it's going to cost me 4 admin power or colonial cubes. So again, what does that mean? We can come over here to the rules. There's a section at the very tippy top for colonizing. It's going to be under why am I not seeing it? I should just do a search like I did on the last one. Let's do that, because I am blind and can't see it. Page 14, it's saying. So let's go to 14. Administrative actions, colonize. Take a colonize action. Spend 4 or 4 of your colonists, or any combination, which means I could spend 3 colonists and 1 cube. Then replace one of your claims on a vacant territory with a small town. This colonial claim must be connected to your capital area through a continuous chain of immediate areas, which basically means your ships need to connect back home. So it's excellent. Very, very good. And now with the explore action, when the first area is discovered and a claim has been placed, we got to put our trade cards in. So before we finish off our turn, we got to come over here and go through the trade cards. And I don't know if there's an easy way to identify so like that's Ivory Coast, Kiev, and Baltic Sea. So Indian Ocean, South America. Okay, we're not in South America, we're in Caribbean. So Maghreb, South America, Indian, Indian, this one. Hold on. I'm realizing some of these actually have... Oh, there's got to be an easier way. Is there an easier way? Like, is there a symbol here I'm missing? I don't think there is. So this is clearly, it's Caribbean or North America, right? So we need to add any trade that has that, according to this. Add all unused trade cards matching the number for this continent. See page 35. Let's go to 35 and see what exactly it's saying. Whenever the first is placed on an area of a distant continent, shuffle all unused trade cards marked with that continent's number onto the trade deck. And I'm assuming it means this right here. See these little numbers? That must be it. So that's what I was missing. You can find the continent numbers along the edge of the trade card to the left of the trade good. For the cards that are normally in the deck from the start of the game, they're shown in semi-transparent boxes. Okay, I think we got it. So what's the continent number? Number 1. See right here, the blue. Right there, blue. Thank goodness. And then 2 would be Africa, 3 is India, and then 4 is Sea of Japan. Okay. I'm getting it. So if you look at these, for example, on the top left, there's nothing. See that livestock? There's nothing to the left of it. These are all your basic ones. And then these, see it has a 4, 2, 3, and 4. There's 1, 2, and 3. So there's one of them. So I'm going to just pull it out. There's another one. Another one. Another one. So anything with the number 1, I'm pulling out. They have to be mindful that everything's filling in. This is actually easier to do if you had your own table. Yep, there's another one. And sorry, it was painful because every time I took one, everything shifted. So wherever I thought I was, I wasn't. I hope that made sense. Okay, so all these cards get added to these cards, and then we shuffle them all. So boom. So now if I do a trade action, everything from the North American continent is now added to the mix. And if you're not me, I'm the only one in North America, so I'm the only one that's going to benefit from trade out here. So it's a very, very interesting concept. And I would like, for example, take this guy and move him out here, and then I'd be able to trade from North America. All right. Now, the one thing that's interesting is I would have moved this guy out here and left this one here. And here's why. I have to have a path of ships that goes back to my home port. So by moving the Central Atlantic ship, I broke my path. And if I have a broken path, I wasn't able to do the explore. So every time you move a ship, you get to move 2 spaces. So this would have been 1, and then 2 would have been to here. So I can move the one from the Western Mediterranean. Basically what I'm doing is I'm saying I don't need as much trade power here in Genoa, and I'm focusing my trade power in Seville, and I'm just starting to get trade power in North America. And so this merchant will move once I do a trade action. Okay, I hope that made sense. I know the turn takes a while, but I'm trying to not only explain my thought process, show you where in the rules I'm getting my information from, because I think that's the key difference between this video and the other videos that are currently out there. I think people just tell you, and they're not necessarily helping you to learn the game so you could figure out for yourself when you're playing your game how to do certain things or or like where to even find that information. Like, Jeff, how did you get that? So I think when you're playing a heavy game, that's a crucial element. And I know some of you are going to be like, nope, don't need that, and that's fine. But hopefully, some of you are this is beneficial for. And anyways, I'm having fun. So I guess at the very end of the day, I'm having fun, so I don't care what you think. I'm just joking. All right, our turn is over, and yeah, we scored a victory point. This is complete, and technically, there's a mission board. 4 completed mission boards. I have no idea why I would want one of these. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Let's just move on. Okay, our turn's over. Let's move to England. England is still not at war, so we're going to draw a card. Flip. They are doing a naval action. Now that is an interesting one, and naval action is right here. It's already open. Are there any hostile sea zones adjacent to the bot ports or ships? No, because they're not at war. Any sea zone without bot ships adjacent to bot ports? That's possible. Yes. So, for example, they have a sea zone where this ship is next to the port of London, and then Cal and Normandy. They also have this ship that is satisfying Wessex and Wales. But there's this area here, which connects to Pale, Lancashire. That's empty. And then Doggerbank is empty. So Northumberland is without a ship. So there's 2 missing areas. So that, let's continue. Any sea zone without? The answer is yes. Place ship in such zone. Prefer H adjacent to most trade nodes, then alphabetical. Alright, I don't understand this, because like... There is a sea zone without bot ships adjacent to bot ports. Oh, I see. I think they're making a new ship. Okay. So they're basically doing the buy a new ship action without saying so. Because I was like, I was thinking I had to move a ship, and I was like, well, I'm just robbing from Peter to pay Paul. Okay, we're placing a new ship in a sea zone. And so we're going to prefer adjacent to the most trade nodes and then alphabetical. And then has ship adjacent to any pirates. There's no pirates yet in this game, and we would remove all pirates from the node. So, and if the ship is not adjacent to pirates, then we're going to draw a trade card. All bots that are eligible to trade will trade in the topmost node that they qualify for. Bots also need to have adjacent towns. Bots gain 3 power if this is a distance node, and 2 if not. Every human player can trade income from any eligible node on this card where they have a merchant. Resolving bot gains 2 victory points per human player who collects income. Oh, very cool. I like this. It's a neat little interaction thing. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to place a ship, a single ship, in one of those empty zones. So that's pretty easy. They're both next to the North Sea. So they would both help boost the North Sea trade area. So let's grab their ship. Now, which one are they going to do? It said alphabetical order. So D is before N, so they're going to go into Doggerbank. And you would put it in one of the silhouette spots. Now, it is possible to have more ships than the silhouettes, but the silhouettes... what those do is those support the trade power for the trade node. Okay, and then we're going to go grab a trade card. So this newly shuffled trade card, let's draw one. And flip it. And then let's take a look at what it does. It is gold. So this one is going to have, this is the inflation problem. So you're going to have to pay a administrative or gain basically a loan token if the ducats is greater than half the base tax. So we'll have to get into that It really is only a factor for human players. The bots don't have to worry about it. Remember, if the bots are trading on any of these nodes, um, if it's overseas, they get 3 power, and if it's domestic, they get 2. Now, the bots are getting screwed here. Because look, this is South America, North America, and Indian Ocean. And so they're not getting anything. So, so the first thing here is none of the bots can trade at any of these locations. We can trade at North America, and the key provinces are Mexico and New Granada, which we don't have though. You must own a key province to collect ducats. See that? So Mexico and New Granada, we don't have either. We're in Antilles, so so we don't collect either. So nobody collects anything. Now, if we did collect, the AI bot would have gained 2 victory points, which is pretty cool. And then we would have had to do this inflation calculation. This gold thing does impact you potentially. Let's see. Now, in the video game, Spain actually starts with gold. They don't have any here, but Austria for sure has gold on some of their provinces. That one right there. See the little gold there? And then if you go to the New World, there's gold in Mexico. That's part of the thing. So basically, you're going to be trading with Mexico here. You would be getting gold. But in our case, we have other problems. We didn't have a merchant here either, because we got to do a trade action to move our merchant there. And I'm pretty sure we needed to have a merchant where they have a merchant, and then they have to be eligible node. So we don't have Mexico, so we're not eligible. That's a bummer. None of us got anything. Okay, England is done. Oh, and then I almost forgot. It cost them a power cube. So we gotta move that over. Okay, next up is Austria. Now, I have to be mindful. When the AI is taking their turn... I'm sorry, I'm moving around so much. Here's the AI card. When the AI is taking their turn, there are checks for how many cubes are left. So if the spent cubes is greater than the cubes that are left, and then it checks to see if they're at war, there's like some extra checks that it does before it draws a bot card. And it's not super impactful, but basically, if they're at war, then they're going to continue going. But if they're not at war and they've spent more bot cubes than they have left, they actually go and pick their event. So they don't draw a bot card. So we got to be mindful of that as we're getting further into our actions. Okay, so after England is Austria. So you look here, you got 3 spent, 6 left. They're good, and they're going to draw their card. Flip it over, and they have convert. Interesting, we're getting all kinds of new ones now. Convert, and then focus. I don't know what the POL, does that mean Poland? They're focusing on Poland? That's an interesting one. Oh, here it is. So let's go to convert. Right here. Are there any areas with religious dissent? I'm pretty sure Austria is not in that issue. They could have that, but it's, yeah, everything is Catholic here. Later on, when Protestantism goes into play, it's going to be an issue. Or if they get far enough over that they're into the Orthodox. But that's not the case here. We're probably going to skip this action. So the answer is no. And then it says perform second action on the card instead. Yep. Alright, let's see. What was the second action again? It was focus, right? It was focus Poland. Or focus POL. I don't know if that means Poland. But, here we go. Focus. Oh, I know. It's not Poland. It's okay. Are there cubes in any focus area already? The answer is no. So they're going to place the bot spent in the focus area named on the card. That's what the POL is. Political focus. So, and then we're going to put aside the bot card. It's not reshuffled this age. Um, and then, of course, yes. All right, so this is a lot simpler. POL stands for politics. Here, I keep saying diplomacy, but apparently the game calls it politics. So they're going to spend one cube from here to here. So basically, they're on their way towards getting the mission complete, the political mission. And then what it says is that this card, I need to, how do I take this card off? I guess I can draw it. There we go. So the card just needs to be set aside so it doesn't get reshuffled. Now we have that situation already with another one. I don't know where. I thought it was the Ottomans. This happened to us one other time where we had to set a card aside. So that is done here. Actually, it might be this one. It was the Austrians the last time too. Yes, it was. So here we go. We got two cards. Or no. No. These are the ones. That's not the case. I mean, that was this playthrough, right? Where I had a card I needed to set aside. Maybe it wasn't. Okay. Well, anyways, it is now set aside. I'm going to put it down here. So this will get reshuffled at some point. It's just not now. All right, moving on. We have, again, 3 out of 6 spent. So we're going to draw. We're going to do a military action. Oh, wrong player aid. Can I clone this? I can. Ooh. I want to put one over here. I can put one in every corner if I wanted. How cool is that? Alright, so let's do military now. Yeah, this one's going to be a wild one. I bet when they designed this one, this was probably a nightmare. Okay, are they at war? No. Do they have claims? I'm going to say yes, but maybe they don't. This is Poland. No, they don't have claims. No. Any area with this token adjacent to bot. We're going to have to look up what that token is, or what that symbol is. So it looks like a sword in the ground. Battleground area. No, there's no battleground area. That would mean like an area that's currently at war. The answer is no. Bot has a military royal marriage with basically that's combat side up and an area adjacent to the bot. No. Go to military target chart and roll. If the target is an opponent, do we have a casus belli? No. Then we go all the way down here. If we did, holy cow, there's a whole bunch of stuff. All right, let's go to the military target chart for Poland. And if it's an NPR, we're going to place a claim. All right, so military targets. I don't know which one had Poland in it. Here. So we're going to roll and see what our target is. Four. So with a 4, it's Prussia. A realm in Prussia is the target. So let's look at that realm first before I go back to the chart. Prussia is here. Yeah, there's definitely something that could be done there. Alright, so what are we doing with that realm in Prussia? I am looking at the wrong one. This is the problem with me creating more than one of those. So roll for target. If an NPR, which it is, place a claim. So we're going to take a claim and put it on Prussia. Done. Now what? Is the target an opponent? I'm going to say no because, I mean, it's not an opponent like a player opponent or a bot opponent. It's an NPR. So we're going to say no. Does it have less than 4 cubes in the NPR's target areas and target is eligible? So eligible is that little sub 1 thing. See declaration of war. Yeah, it's eligible. Yes, the answer is yes. So we're going to go down to here. Is the target strength greater than or equal to 2 times the bot strength? And remember, the realm strength is for NPR is tax income. For a player, it's the number of deployed units plus available manpower. Okay, so that's really nice of them to put that formula here for us. So, is their strength greater than 2 times the bot strength? Oh. So here's what we got to do. Let's look at the bot strength first. The bot strength is 2. So their 2 times that strength is 4. The realm is 1, 2, 3, 4. Because it's 4 little doodads. So it's equal. So is it greater than or equal to? And the answer is yes. Target strength is greater than or equal to. So it's yes. So now we go back to here. So we're going to do the military target. Well, hold on. This is just going to be an infinite loop potentially. I'm not adding extra strength or doing anything. I'm just going around and around and around in a circle here. That makes no sense. Okay, let's roll again. I rolled a 5 this time. A 5 takes me to Red Ruthenia. Red Ruthenia is here. It is an NPR, so we would get a claim. Like, they're just manufacturing claims like mad right now. Alright, so a claim goes there. Then we come back and continue our checks. Is it an opponent? No. Do they have less than 4 cubes in the target area? And it's eligible. Yes. Is the target strength greater than or equal to 2 times the bot strength? The answer is no, because this time they only have 2 strength. We control one of these towns. So they have 2 strength. So the answer is finally no. So we We are going down a different path this time. Declare war on the target. Alright, spend 1 bot to recruit 7, 9, or 11 units. Number of units is determined by the chosen difficulty level. Okay, so chosen difficulty level is interesting because this is the difficulty level. So it says 7, 9, or 11. Oh, I see. Right here. It's going to be 9. Okay. I was like, okay, well, how? There's 4 difficulty levels. Alright, it's going to be 9. And then it keeps going. So don't let me forget this. It keeps going, and we're going to have to do all this other stuff too. But let's declare the war first. So war is declared on Red Ruthenia from Poland. Okay, so when that war is declared, they're going to do a recruit of 9. So they are going to... Their manpower is 5, 6. And then they have 2 here. So I was supposed to put 1, 2, 3, 4. This is one of those setup items I forgot to do. So they're going to recruit all 4 guys, and there's their army right there. Alright. Done. Let's keep going. This is quite the decision tree here, but you know, as long as you go slow enough, you can get through it. Does the bot have NPR allies with 2 or more targets adjacent to it? No, there's no allies to the bot. Oh, I'm sorry. Does the bot have allies with 2 or more cubes adjacent to the target? That they're saying, does Poland have allies? They have an ally here with Lithuania, and they have 2 or more cubes adjacent to the target. Yes, they do. The answer is yes. For each such ally, remove 2 cubes from the NPR's areas. And I gotta spend the 1 power here. Gain 2 power cubes and flip the alliance to the... Basically, we called them to war. So we're gonna remove 2 cubes. Gain the power. Okay. So first of all, to do the action, cost 1 cube. To declare war, the military action itself costs 1 cube. And then what it's saying is we get to take 2 of these cubes. We gain them back. And then the alliance here gets flipped to now they're allied with us and they're at war. So they join the war with us. Alright. Targets may send defensive CTAs, defensive call to arms. NPRs always do. So this is where the NPR, okay, the NPR is at war. It's doing a defensive call to arm. This NPR is not in any alliance with anybody, so there's no one to call to arm for. But I'm going to check the rules anyways, because sometimes this game does wonky stuff, but I'm pretty sure that no one's going to come to their aid. And then remove all of the bot's cubes from all of the target's areas. So let's do both of those. So they, for example, had a cube in here, so that cube is gone. I'm going to go ahead and pop it back in. And as far as like the defensive call to arms, so Red Ruthenia, as you can see, they don't have any allies with anybody. So it's really just a rule question. I'm going to go ahead and open this one up. And it gets to... There's a call to arms section. Bot warfare. So if you declare war on a bot, we're not doing that. So... And it says it's similar to the bot rules. So here, a bot will always refuse all offensive call to arms. They will always accept a defensive. A bot will send a defense to all allies that are adjacent to the aggressor. So see that? You got to be an ally. When a war is declared, a bot or their ally, you can declare war action sequence. You call to arms. Yeah, you got to have an ally to call to arms. You can't just say, hey guys, help me out here, if they're not your ally. So, yeah, we got that covered. Whew. All right, almost through it. Does the declaration of war trigger a naval battle? No. Does it trigger a land battle? The answer is no. Well, the answer is yes. This is where the bots are weird. So we got to go back over to the bot rules. The bot doesn't have any land units anywhere, and the land units sort of like magically appear wherever they're needed. They don't actually stay on the board. They move around. So right here, a bot rolls battle dice if you're fighting alongside an NPR. If you're fighting multiple enemies when defending alongside another bot, treat the bot with the biggest army as the main defender. Yeah, this is the part where it gets a little crazy. The bot's army miniature is only placed on the map when it is required for a military or defend action, or to face an NPR invasion. The defend action allows the bot's army to teleport. For the military action, the army can be placed in any of the bot's areas on the map if it's not already. When a bot's army is placed in an area on the map, the bot's MAC for the area in question is already checked, which is the maximum army capacity. So, while a bot's army may suddenly appear in various locations, the number of units they can actually use in a battle is determined by their MAC in the area in question. It simulates a bot's ability to muster units locally. If army size exceeds MAC when doing a MAC check, the excess units are laid down on their sides to signify their unavailability. Conversely, if the MAC exceeds the number, stand any laid down units up. So for an area has a land connection to the bot's capital, the MAC is unlimited. So basically that entire army they have is available. That's all that reading was just to get to this one conclusion. So let's grab some bots. Basically, the NPR is going to defend himself with 2 units. One for each town. Now, how do I know that? I just know that, but I know you're going to ask me to be a little bit smarter about this. And it has to do when you're declaring war on a bot. A bot's army triggers land battles in the same manner as a human. When a bot, as the active player, wins its first battle of a turn, it receives 1 power. Fights an NPR. Always roll a number of infantry dice equal to the number of infantry NPR units present. Every 1 counts. So how do I know how many bots show up? That's your question that I'm already claiming to know the answer to. The answer is 2. But why do I know that the answer is 2? I just do. So let me pause and find where in the rules I got that from. Okay, I found it. The reason that I couldn't find it, apparently it's in the main rule book for when a player is attacking an NPR. So first thing you have to understand is a war capacity. Right here, a realm's military capacity for any given area is equal to the combined tax value of that realm's own provinces. So the provinces that they have, which are 2 in that realm. And so basically they can only have 2 infantry. And then if you go to page 36, warfare versus NPRs, if an NPR is defending an area, which is the case here, they will always defend their areas with a number of infantry units equal to their MC for the area. And if there's units hostile to your NPR enemy already located, then another battle is triggered. So that's the situation here. It is a it's a bot declaring war on an NPR, and they're like a So this is a player realm. When you're at war with an NPR, the NPR will defend as follows. I'm assuming that if a bot's at war with an NPR, it's the same. I don't have any reason to believe otherwise. Um, so you got your maximum army capacity, which is different for a bot than it is for an NPR. And right here, actually, land battles versus NPRs. Always roll a number of infantry dice equal to the number of infantry NPR units present. And we're going to assume it's the same rules. So every infantry or that rolled counts as a casualty for the bot's army. If a bot has any remaining units after this, it wins the battle. If all the bots were eliminated, etc., etc. So I think that's the situation here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have to roll some military dice. So I'm going to take 1, 2. This is for the bot. And I'm going to go ahead and roll those. And you can see I drew an infantry. And so what that means is one of these gets killed. So they're down to 5 now. Now, does it go back to the manpower reserve? No, because you don't. When people die, you don't. They're not available to fight again. This isn't the undead army. Now, with them having 6 here, the way battles are supposed to work is they get to roll 3 dice. That's if we're the human player. So it always gets trickier when you're dealing with these dang bots because they roll different dice. Always roll a number of infantry dice equal to the number of units, NPR units present. So the bot's going to get to roll 5 dice. And then of course they need to win. So there was actually 6. This is interesting because when we're fighting a bot, I think they cap out at 5 dice. But yeah, let's go ahead and roll. So it's really interesting. They almost didn't win. But right here, you can see they killed 2 units. So 2 Utes. 2 Utes are dead. So these guys go away. And they won. So let's keep going. Boy, is this involved. And that's not even counting the allies. The allies, I think, were supposed to come in and help them. So let's see. Triggers a land battle. Yes. Go to land battle. Resolve in alphabetical order. If multiple battles, then end turn. Gain 1 if they won the battle, which they did. The land battle. Oh, right here. Oh my gosh. They have a whole land battle thing. Is the enemy a PR? No. Roll battle dice. Number of infantry dice equals hostile units. Assign casualties. Bot's casualties equal the number rolled. Does the bot have units remaining? Yes. Resolving bot receives this because it's a first battle victory. And then end battle. Oh my gosh, I was going through all of this stuff, looking things up, and it was right here. My apologies, folks. See, I didn't promise I'm going to get the rules right all the time, but I actually think I got them right. But I sure went through the most convoluted logic possible to find it, didn't I? It was telling me right here, go to there. Okay, and before I forget, we got to grab a cube and give them a bot power. Alright, so they won the battle, but they didn't necessarily win the siege. That's the most weird part about this. I'd be curious as to, like when do they actually take and conquer those areas? And there's peace resolution. There's all kinds of stuff going on. For this purpose, their army is supposed to be here, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that. And that's the end of their turn. So we keep on going. Now we go back to the Ottomans. And you can see they spent 3 cubes, so we're going to draw a card. They're doing military. Oh boy, I'm exhausted already. Alright, this is definitely a doozy. Okay, are they at war? No. Do they have a claim? I'm pretty sure the answer is no. Oh, no, they do. But see, this claim is there's no military conquest here. That's an interesting one. They have a claim, yes. So let's go see what it says. Does the roll match the number on a non-colonial claim? I don't even know what that means. They do have a claim. It doesn't say what the claim type is. I mean, it just says claim 1. And see, there's a casus belli. Like, you need a casus belli, which is more than just a claim to declare war. Interesting. All right. So I rolled a 4. I have a claim. Yes. I rolled a 4. Does the roll match the number on a non-colonial claim? I think they mean that I'm supposed to check the military chart. Yes, that's what I think they mean. So they want me to go here and find the Ottomans, right? I rolled a 4, which takes me to the Turgovista here. And does that match the number? I don't even know where Turgovista is. I'm looking. The Aegean Archipelago, Karaman, Rum, Kurdistan, Armenia. I have no idea what the heck this Turgovista is that it's referring to. Owner of Turgovista. There's owner of Constantinople, Kastamonu, and owner of Karaman. I see Karaman. Oh, Turgovista. Oh, it's these little provinces. Okay. I wasn't paying as much. There's Karaman. Okay. So Turgovista is this guy. Do we have a claim on him? No, we don't. So it probably means we're going to go back to the beginning. So the answer is no. Any area with a no. Place a claim here. Okay, that makes sense. Select realm for which this claim is valid. Yep. So we're going to place a claim here. And yeah, that's a realm where the claim is valid. Does it has less than 4 cubes and an NPR target areas and target is eligible? The answer is yes. Is their strength greater than or equal to 2 times the bot's strength? So again, the bot has 3. Their strength is 2. So the answer is no. So we're going down the same path. The answer is no. We're going to declare war on the target and spend 1 cube to recruit 7, 9, or 11. The answer is 9. So first of all, we spent a cube to do the action. We're spending a cube to recruit. And you can see we're getting a whole crap ton of guys into their army. War is declared on these guys, so we'll put war there. Let's keep going. Oh, and then the claim is actually, it's very specific to Trigger Viste. So we're going to put the claim there. This claim is specific to the religion. Okay. We did the recruit. Does the bot have NPR allies with 2 or more cubes adjacent to the target? I do not think so. Nope. I don't even think they have out. Well, they have an ally over here now, but they're not adjacent to the target. For each ally, target may send defensive CTA. Nothing happens. Remove all bots' cubes from that area, and then does it trigger a land battle? The answer is always yes when you're dealing with NPRs, because NPRs will defend themselves. So first of all, the cube's gone. And it's the same deal. This bot is going to create 2 cubes, or 2 enemies. And so we're going to do just like before, except now we're smart enough to know we have to flip to the land battle. So let's do that properly. The answer is no. So number of infantry dice is number of hostile units. So what's interesting about this is the bots don't even have to roll. Did you notice that? The bots aren't rolling. The defenders are rolling, and you're just assigning casualties to the bot and seeing if they have units remaining. It's a very interesting concept. So we're going to take 2 of these dice and roll them. I sort of like the idea of rolling them. I don't want them to go on the floor, though. So this is a hit. That's not. So one infantry dies. Done. This technically goes on the board. Okay, and then they're going to get a cube because they won. So they have units remaining. Yes, they get their cube because it's the first victory, and then boom. It says, note, the 1 gain for the first battle is in most cases already specified in the relevant bot action charts. So it's just trying to tell you you're not getting 2 cubes if you see this written in 2 different places. Alright, their turn is over. That was less painful now that we know what we're doing. Okay, now we're at France. So look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes spent, 6 cubes left. They're close to the tipping point. Draw their card. Flip. They're doing a diplomacy action. And this actually should be very successful for France. Do they have this plus this on any NPR? The answer is still no. Because they have the alliance, but they never form the military, or the, you know what I mean, the marriage. Do they have an alliance? Yes. Has double tax income of the NPR? Yes. Has cubes greater than or equal to the NPR's tax income? This time the answer is yes. They have 4 cubes there. Their income is 3, if you remember. Plus the opponent cubes. There's no opponent cubes in the area. So now the answer is yes. Last time it wasn't. Annex this NPR. Remove the bot's cubes equal to the target's tax income plus opponent cubes. Score 3 points. Prefer the realm adjacent by land than realm with highest tax income. So does that mean we're only going to annex 1 realm? That's the part that's getting confusing here. Annex this NPR. Prefer realm adjacent by land than realm with highest tax income. So annex doesn't mean we're annexing all of the realms, just 1 realm. That's really confusing wording there. Wow. Very, very confusing wording. Because when you're annexing an NPR, you annex all of them, not just the realm. So, let's see, now owns all provinces in new area. In a new area and has less than 2 core to play. Okay, we'll do that later. Alright, let's resolve this. So the number of cubes in NPR's areas. Oh, I see. I think you can annex more than one area, but it's based on cubes equal to or greater than their income plus opponent. And it does say number 2 here. So let's see. Bot must remove one fewer cube if it has a marriage on target realm. Vassals of target are released. Yeah. Then score 3 points. Well, let's not forget to give them 3 points. So 3 points for France. Alright, so they have one province here. So we need to remove bot's cubes equal to the income, plus opponent cubes. England doesn't have any cubes there, so we're going to remove this cube for France, and then they basically annex them, like so. And then here, the value is 2, so they're going to remove 2 cubes from France. Then this alliance marker actually goes away, and they actually get to add a large town here for province. That was a big addition for them. Really well done. A player would have played that way when they're playing the video game. Okay. Now they own all provinces in a new area. It's not a new area. This is an area they already have. They did take new provinces, but it's not all new provinces. So there's no coring, I think, necessary here. It is interesting because the whole concept of an area doesn't exist in the video game. I guess you have states, but it doesn't work this way. Now owns all provinces in a new area. No. So then it ends. So what it was basically going to let you do is they would spend one to place a core in that area. That's more... Okay, so why would that happen? That's more like the Aragon situation. See, like, they have no presence here at all. If they were to somehow annex Aragon, then they would do the core thing. Here, they just annexed a province, not Provence, but province, in an area that they already have a core on. I know it's confusing because this is different, way different than the video game, but I think I have that down right. If there's anywhere that I lack confidence, it's that. Because it confuses the crap out of me when you have provinces that are in areas that you already control, and then it's telling you to put cores down. Because I don't think you can put... So now, like, let's say we had to do a core. The core is the little heart thingy, and I don't even know where is a core token. So, by the way, these are the battleground area tokens. And you can put, like, occupied, and technically speaking, we have a battleground here. Right? That's a battleground. And then we had one here for answering the question of battlegrounds. The battle's over, though, so I don't know if that technically that battleground stays. I'd have to look that up. My apologies. But focusing back on this, if I were to core something, and again, the core is a shield with a heart token. Which is none of these tokens that are available here. What a bizarre concept. So if I had one of these and I flip it, yeah, those are all the same thing. Those have the CB on them. Yeah, I'm really confused as to Okay, so I'm putting a core, but where's the token that lets me indicate that I have a core? Very bizarre. Well, the good news is I don't have to do it yet. So I'm going to maybe. And this is what I was referring to. Like, you could watch that whole RTFM video, and it does not help you with this situation because he doesn't go that level of detail. His 47-minute video would then become a 4-hour video, but still. Um, and then, of course, he says, just read your player aid. None of this is on the player aid. So, the way to resolve this is to look at the regular rules for coring. So, if you want to assign it to a core province, you must place a rebel town. See, look, core provinces are like a part of everything. Yeah, it's coming up with score. So let me pause. I'm going to look up the rules for core. Let's get this resolved. Okay, this was real easy to find. There's a core provinces section on page 21. Any province that has a realm's flag on it is considered a core province, and this applies no matter who currently owns that province. And now this is for provinces. This is not for area. The players, no matter who owns the province, but is superseded by any claim on the province or a core placed in the area. Province which is a core province of its owner cannot be liberated, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. To place a core token, a player needs to own all the provinces in the area and then use the integrate area action. Doing so displaces any claims or any other cores that are already there, and a core cannot be placed on an area where all provinces are already the core provinces. Sometimes cores may be placed via mission reward. All provinces in an area where a PR has placed a core are considered core. Each core in a play area counts as a claim in its area, and is worth 1 point during final scoring. So, again, I don't know where, like it was showing like this purple core marker. I almost feel like it's missing, like it's a missing component in the game. But basically, if you put a core marker down, what it's just saying is like that already has a France symbol on it. So it's already cored. Once I own all the areas, so I'd have to get Avignon here, and then here I'd have to get England, I can put a core marker down, and now these provinces are considered part of my core. So at the moment, that's not considered part of my core, so I could get rebellions and the whole 9 yards from that. So the next $1,000,000 question is, where's my core tokens for each of these countries? I don't see a core token anywhere. I see a claim, and if I flip this, oh, there it is. There it is. I thought I was seeing Casus Belli. Look at that. All of those are core tokens. Okay, well, we've discovered that problem. What was this then? Look at that. That says CB. That doesn't say claim. I'm confused. Alright, what if I put this on here? Yeah, now they're saying core. I don't understand why this one says Casus Belli, CB. See that? Maybe it's because it's on the religion thing. Let me move it over here and flip it. Nope. Yeah, I'm royally confused. Let's see, I put that there. Yeah, now it's coming out saying core. Let me flip it, put it back. Yeah, I don't understand why that one says Casus Belli while all the other ones say core. But there you go. That answers the question. And sorry about the sidetrack, but that's part of the discovery of learning how to play this game is all these concepts eventually have to integrate together in your mind and it assembles the full game. So I know this is why some people are like, yeah, playing the full campaign is ambitious. Eh. All right. That was France's turn, and that was quite a doozy of a turn. But let's not forget that that diplomacy action cost them 3 cubes. So these 3 go over, like so. They did score some nice victory points, and they were likely going to have to draw an event or pass after this. Because I think France did an event, and I forgot to mark that. So, yeah. They chose the... No, England's the one that did the event. They didn't choose the... England did the event and chose the 100 Years' War. So England is the one. So France still has to do an event. Okay. Boy. There's a lot to this game, folks. There's no getting around that. But at the same time, I still think it's manageable. It's when you're getting in all these weird scenarios that, yeah, you got to sit down and really hash out the rules. And I can understand why some players are like, boy, this is heavy. Because it is. I mean, I have to keep constantly pull up these player aids and stuff. It's a very it can be very cumbersome. Okay, it's back to us. So I'm gonna just drop all these cubes back in here, and here you can see we have only 1 cube remaining in each of these areas. I can do a recruit action, which the funny thing is that's just going to make it more expensive for my army. So I'm going to wait until the next time I get cubes so I can recruit and declare war all in one shebang. So that's becoming less and less attractive. Now, I do have 1 administrative power, which I'm planning to use because let's colonize. Like, why not? Let's colonize. So we have to have a town on 3 plus of Mississippi, Florida, Antilles, New Granada, Guyana, or La Plata. So I need to have 3 of these colonized. And then I'm going to gain 2 more colonists or pay 1 administrative power to expand the Seville, which expanding means I get to expand the trade node. That's really, really cool, by the way. Now, the expand trade node token, it's got to be one of these. I don't know which one. Oh, right here. Expanded. Okay. Yeah, let's colonize. So colonize takes 3 of these cubes. It takes 4 of something. Any combination of cubes that are colonists and cubes from your administrative power. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then what that lets me do is I get to grab a town here and I put it out here. So technically, I get to move this off and put this on. So now I have a full-blown colony on Antilles. So again, that doesn't help me to do trade, if it necessarily needs Mexico. But the full-blown colony, the difference between that and the claim that I had, and the claim should have been this token, the full-blown town is increasing my income. So here I'm now getting 13 revenue. So it improved things for me. And I don't think I gained diddly squat beyond that. So let's go back up. It's under diplomatic actions, so 15. Nope, administrative actions. Colonize. That's it. So also just don't forget, and this is the kind of thing I always forget. I need to have ships that go from there to there back to my home, which is Seville, which I do. And so yeah, I was able to do it, and my turn's over. It wasn't very exciting, but it's how it goes. And then it's time for the AIs to go, and we're just going to keep going. And remember, you go until everybody passes. And in order for everybody to pass, all players must at least take one event. So we're still at least a few more, turns before that happens. So, anyways, I'm at 2 hours, so I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome, and feel free to ask any questions. Just make sure you link where in the video you're asking your question, and then I'll try to get on here and we'll go through the rules together and figure out what we're supposed to do. If you believe something should be done differently, or if you have any questions about anything, the whole point of this is let's learn this game together. I'm learning it myself, as you can tell, but I don't think everybody keeps weighing. The Board Game Geek rating is that this is a 4.8 out of 5 difficulty. It's a heavy game. It's a whatever. I don't know. I'm here to tell you that this game's doable, and I'm showing it. I'm playing the Grand Campaign by myself. I've never played the game of this before. My son and I fooled around a bit, in like half of an age, and I think it's doable. And whatever rules I have screwed up, I think that those are, well, first of all, they're correctable. They're always correctable, and then secondly, I don't think they were a big deal. So I think this game is accessible for everybody. I still don't think my friends want to play this, other than my son. Um, but that makes me sad. But anyways, thanks for watching. Stay awesome.